seja agora, seja o domínio, séculos dos séculos, está sentado.
Som, teste. 1, 2, som, ei, som, teste. 1, 2, som, teste, som, teste. Som, 1, 2, som, 1, 2, 1, 2, som, ei. Teste, som, 1, 2. Daniel. Hey Daniel. Trying test. Sound. Daniel. Oh, brothers and sisters, tune into first now to listen to. I would like to. I'd like to tell about our happiness, our so great happiness of be part living in this time. Usually we there is two brothers speaking out back there. Please stop disturbing me here. And usually we speak up badly about we give a we tell the problems of our nation, our church, and stay, just stay. But, brothers, it's such a wonderful time. You were chosen by God to live in those days. You could be lived 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, but not. You was born now. You 20 or 17, whatever. You are chosen to be in this generation. It's the time. That's the point. What generation is that? That's the generation that are going to experience the rapture. That is a Knox generation. So I have been thinking about it. It's so amazing. The fact that we've been chosen by God to be in this generation. So let's be thankful. Let's praise God for this time. Have been proved. We have been through trials. Yes, sure, a lot of them. I am if a daughter and a son-in-law being treated for COVID. Another daughter has took it a couple of months ago, but now my oldest one I have to change some appointments because of coronavirus. There is a couple of pastors from my church in Montes Belo, the church that I lead. A couple of pastors with tubes, with briefers. So all of it's so trial. Soon we buried such good friend, Pastor Vanderlúcio in Inuaí, Minas Gerais, state of Brazil. So we have been through a time of many trials. But it's that way. When biggest is the trial for us, it's because He wants us to reach something superior, bigger, something higher for us up there. We should have been giving praising to God. He in James 1, be rejoiceful in everything. Be rejoiceful to be through many trials. So, besides complaining, besides arguing, maybe bad thoughts, let's be thankful. Let's be thankful to God. Praise God because we were born in those days. Because if you are ready, you are going to take part in the rapture. Now, today, tomorrow, next year, it's so soon the rapture. But you must be ready. You must be ready. I don't know, Lauro. Come here quickly, please. You must be ready. You must be ready. Okay, carry on. Let's go. Let me show one thing here for Lauro. Something that the bishop sent me. He's 3 minutes. It's possible. Interesting. So, Laura is going to prepare a video that Bishop sent me. It's a song. It's quickly. It's around 4 minutes, but it's worthy. You can let it. I think it's not be necessary. She said it's sent to many people, but the fact is that we were chosen to live the rapture, to experience the rapture, that glorious moment when that we will hear to the trumpet in a blink of eyes. God are going to rise billions of people in a blink of eyes. Think about it. Those who were thrown in the seas, the body is deteriorate. There is no body anymore. Those who was buried, now it's only ashes. And those that was ready at that time will go also. Think about the level of God's power that in one blink of eyes will rise all those who will live with him through the eternity. So, to live in this time is such a wonderful thing. Okay. I brought here a couple of thoughts that I would like to show you. Many thoughts. This one was the first, but there are many that I would like to introduce you. The world is going away. The world are lost. The world is lost. The world is so lost that they do not even know what to do with the virus. But in Brazil, Israel, I have been saying that Brazil is an extension of Israel. And it is. It is an extension of Israel. So when you are thinking about Israel, you think about Brazil. It's the same thing. The word Israel is the same word for Brazil. So he is a Israel extension. So what's going to happen with Israel? What's going to happen with Brazil? Israel. Israel is going to make an alliance with the Antichrist soon after the rapture. Two of three parts will make an alliance with the Antichrist. He in Brazil we are Gentiles, them are Jews. There is a church there that will take part in the rapture. But the government of Israel, the administration of Israel, are going to make an alliance with the Antichrist. It's in Daniel 9. Daniel 9 from 24 to 27. They are going to do an alliance with the Antichrist. The Antichrist will do this alliance with the Jews. Because two of three parties not follow the Messiahs. Are not following and will not follow. Never. So those Jewish are looking for a Messiah. Recently, you saw the teachers. They set a schedule, a global schedule when they would introduce the Messiah they have been waiting for. The Messiahs came 2,000 years ago, but they are awaiting them, the Messiah. The Messiah will be the Antichrist. We have to pay attention, because if they announce a leader, it may be the Antichrist. I don't think that it will be, but maybe. Someone that rule the world, they are unbelievers related to the cross, to Jesus coming. So, what's happening with them? They are father from Jesus Christ. The whole Arabic world are looking for an alliance with Israel. They have an alliance. Israel has alliance with two Arabic countries, but the Arabic world are getting closer of Israel. What's going to happen there? Israel will be stormed of a confederation of nations after the rapture. They will be stormed. They will invaded by the nations. The Russia is going to invade Israel. It's in the Bible clearly. Gog and Magog. It's clear in the Bible. So, what's going to happen there is that it will be a small group, one of three parts in the whole world. One of three parts will be there. This one small group are 4,004 described here in Revelation 7. The 404,000, as soon as the church is raptured, because when the church is raptured, there is no representation here of God. None that has the right. The pure church is the church that is going to take part in the rapture. And this group of Jewish with the 404,000 is going to take part of this representation of God. And Brazil, I'll take longer here talking about Brazil. Talking about what's going to happen with Brazil in the next years, the closest next years. In the age 1917 has been the greatest persecution of the Jewish in the whole world, and so far, and I believe that it will be the biggest, because it is not only killed the Jewish. This persecution even took the hope from their hearts. The Jewish used to be arrested in the Inquisition here in Brazil, in Portugal. They used to be arrested in a such closed room, such small room. For that room was supposed to be for 4, and was 8, 10 there. 1 week without cleaning that place. Think about it. The Jewish were condemned to kill, to death sentence. They were burned, set in fire. They are condemned in all kinds of death you can imagine. The Jewish was persecuted here in Brazil in a such strategic way, in a rush way, by the Jesuits, with Anchieta leading them. Anchieta was a slayer. They were persecuted here in a such strategic way. If you get to study it, you get angry with the way that Rome used to persecute here the Jewish in Brazil. What's Rome? Helped by Portugal, by the army of Portugal, was an alliance of Rome and Portugal to persecute the Jewish. It runs for 3 ages, 3 centurions. All people that persecute the Jewish suffer the judgment of God. The Roman Church joined that one that make the alliance with the Jesuits. This church persecute the Jewish in Brazil, but God did not revenge all the nations that massacre, that persecute the Jewish. God revenge all of them, starting by Egypt. Egypt used to be the greatest country, the greatest nation in the world. In its time it was like US nowadays, and it's gone. I could say more countries, but God's a revenger, and He didn't revenge yet of what the Jewish suffered in Brazil. The Lord did not revenge yet. But I could find 10 reasons why Brazil, it's one of them, why the revenge of God against Rome in Brazil. Brazil is going through a so bad situation because of these pandemic times. They want to block our president, Bolsonaro. They will not be able to, but I believe that's the beginning of the end of our STF. The Jewish want to block our president in many ways, but we are in a such a fragile situation here in Brazil. But recently Bolsonaro called some pastors in his office to hear a couple of pastors, great pastors, good pastors in Brazil, Hernandes, Malafaia, and many others. They went there. It brings God's anointment, God's blessing for his government. Men of God have been there. Men of God stepped his feet there. So the blessing of God's there. I saw Bolsonaro send a team to Israel of specialists. I don't remember the area exactly. But in the end, they gave a word to the team and said, now you go with God. Go with God. It's a man who feared the Lord. Then to send a team, a group, a task group to the work abroad and say, go with God, is a man who feared God. Bolsonaro fears God. That's the reason, a big reason, why those evil ones cannot touch him. But I highlighted some reasons, and I will give you some of them. Some reasons why Brazil, before the rapture or close, Brazil, I said before the rapture, but I cannot assure it. It's something that I believe, but I can't assure it. I can't say it is. I prefer to say it's possible, teaching possible, that the Brazil went through a prosperous time as never before, even though the virus. If you see some numbers, you get astonished. You'll be astonished how this government are doing the things for the nation. It's so many things. Under the whole pressure possible, he is still doing many great things. Brazil will be preserved, kept for a time. I believe it, that Brazil will be captured for a specific time before the Great Tribulation, the end of Bolsonaro's government, at least the second turn of his government. I believe that next year they will be re-elected. At least the second part of his re-election, I think the rapture will come and the Great Tribulation will start. So, this view of God's protection goes through the prophecy. God says to Abraham, I will bless those who bless you. Genesis 12:3. And I will curse those who cursed you. And this curse are over the Roman Church. Recently, 2 months ago, CNBB approved what the bishop has approved, and marriage between people the same sex and those kind of things. Even though inside of the Catholic Church, there is a true church. Inside the Catholic Church, I've been speaking with many people that are part of the group inside of Catholic Church. They are saved for sure. They have Jesus as their Savior. Not crying out to Mary or idols. There is a church inside of Catholic Church. But the Catholic Church, the system, is broken. It's cursed. But he says, I will bless those who bless you. How, how is that? I highlighted 12 reasons. From those 12, I will give you 3 or 4. Otherwise, I would spend the whole class describing, mentioning all of them. We send it for our 18. If you want it, say a word in the chat, and Lila will send you. First, biggest motivation. First, biggest motivation. Because Brazil will be a people blessed by the God in the next years. Osvaldo Aranha. It's an international leader, Brazilian. The only leader that was nominated for the Nobel Prize of Peace. He didn't win it, but because in that year that he was nominated, the prize didn't happen. And probably he would be the winner. Osvaldo Aranha was almost president. When? When the state of Israel happens. The state of Israel was born around 2000. Let's fix it in 2000 years. 2000 years after the slavery of Babylon, the Israel was reborn from the ashes in an assembly of honor, led by Osvaldo Aranha in 1947. At the same date was November. In the 27th of November, the subject was highlighted. Headlines was the division of Palestine. Part would be for Israel, the other part to the Palestine. So Osvaldo Aranha notes that at that day it would not happen. And what he did? He didn't put it in to be voted. He put it 2 days after. 28 would be a holiday, American holiday. It would be, honor would be closed. 29, he put it to be voted. So, you know what was guiding? Can you imagine a Brazilian? God chose a Brazilian for Israel be reborn through a section of Assembly of United Nations. I think it was around 35 nations at that time. And Isaiah prophesied this day. Isaiah 66. So it happens at that day. It was accomplished. The accomplishment of a biblical prophecy was guided by a Brazilian. That was the leader of honor at that time, Osvaldo Aranha. Who the audience, the watchers, was crying in Israel. The teachers were reading Isaiah. The restoration of the state of Israel is prophesied by Isaiah in his book. So they were reading it, crying at those days. Was discovered in Qumran caves the whole book of Isaiah in jars of mud. God prepared that day. guided by a Brazilian. When they did the bomb TNT, it saved people in the Second World War. When he make the Homer was one of the greatest men of Hitler, and from the north of Africa to Jerusalem is close. He was in the north of Africa guiding these troops into Jerusalem. Sorry, got lost here. So tanks. They have tanks that was impossible to go through in the sand. And to was given the synthetic rube to defeat Rommel, and the Israel was not taken in the Second World War. And Oswaldo Aranha was there in the section of ONU, and these men, these extraordinary men, who were there, a Brazilian, in the Assembly of ONU, in the day 29 was reborn the state of Israel in ONU. In the day 15th of May of the next year, 48, in Jerusalem, were read the new constitution of Israel after 2,000 years was born a new nation. The birthday of this nation was led by a Brazilian. Those who blessed brothers and sisters. Our Lord has. I'm going to use an expression. Has a debt with Brazil, and he used to pay his debts, and he's going to pay it now. If he not pay now, he'll pay during the millennium. But during the millennium, the church will be not here anymore. Will not be here anymore. The believer Jewish will not be here. Why in the rapture? In the rapture, there is no church anymore. There is so many Jewish here in Brazil, Christian Jewish. They are registered, the 12 tribes of Israel here in Brazil. Registered by DNA. So Brazil was visited, and Pastor Zanat is a historian. She gets angry when I say about that. She will bring me proofs. But Brazil was visited by Jews. When I read Ezekiel chapter 27, it's incredible. Solomon used to build ships to sail in the sea. Isaiah also speak, but I'm talking about Ezekiel. Ezekiel 27 talk about the sailing of Solomon's ship that he used to build Phoenicians. The Phoenicians at that time, the king Iran were the most powerful man on earth. So honored, globally honored. A global honor. Lemos thousands before Christ. To show that God has a debt with Brazil. I will bless those who bless you. He's going to bless us. He will bless us. When Cabral received the news, to host to when those ships of Solomon went to from Portugal to Goa to trade tissues, materials. They went to China. There in Goa. I have been there, India. The only state of India that used to speak Portuguese there. Held main of Portugal. They were powerful at that time. So the ship of Pedro Alves Cabral went from Portugal to Goa. So they need someone to guide them. And because of it, they find out someone from Goa, Lemos. He speak 5 languages. He could sail by the stars, by the flows of the sea. So they arranged this man, this captain, this man, a Jewish man, to guide the Cabral's ship. So they went to guide, and you know where it ends here in Brazil. The state of Cabral. Stop there. I use say with inverted commas. He lost the way. Inverted commas again. He didn't lose the way. He knew it. He knew by the relator of the Jewish have the story of Jewish with the Phoenicians because of Solomon. They knew that here. So Brazil was found by the Jewish called the Muslim. I have 2 historians, a Brazilian, a German, and a Portuguese. 2 historians that can show there are so many lies in Brazil. We are ranking some historians, and actually one of them, she has a PhD in history. the universities, the true history of Brazil. We we now the true history of Brazil through books wrote by the São Paulo's University, telling us the true history of Brazil. Raposo Tavares, I have his biography at my home, wrote by the University of São Paulo. If I'm not wrong, I have many books of the true history of Brazil, wrote by the University of São Paulo. Anita Novinsky, the main head of the history share of USP in São Paulo, a university. And she loved the Jewish. I like to believe that she is a Jewish. I think she's not working anymore. Maybe she retired. I have no notes of her. But it's Raposo Tavares. I have something written in his book. So intense, his book. Raposo Tavares, a Jewish. All Bandeirantes was Jewish. All of them that went to explore Brazil through the shores of Brazil. The Jewish found Brazil. Brazil was rented to Emmanuel, a Jewish. It is called, what's it called? That island. Fernando de Noronha, yes. Fernando de Noronha was a Jewish. So rich that, can someone give me a tissue? A piece, a little small piece. In the bathroom, maybe. Lila went to take. Maybe it. Okay, thank you. Fernando de Noronha, there is an island in his honor. He rent Brazil. Thought that it here was an island. It was called an island for 2 years, many years. Then the Jewish went deep in Brazil and deep in the forests and started to see that it was not island. It was no island. He belonged to the Jewish from the beginning. Fernando de Noronha, he was so rich. He rent many ships, navy ships, to and through these navies they used to send Brazilian wood to Portugal, to Europe, mostly to Portugal. So those ships used to take the riches of Brazil from Brazil to Portugal, and they give a commission to Portugal's government, and it went through for 13 years. Fernando de Noronha make this island, inverted commas, make it so rich, prosperous. But when Portugal find out it was by the exploration of Bandeirantes, but mostly Raposo Tavares. Raposo Tavares, he took around 600 men, so bravers men, went to the area where is Rio Grande do Sul, and the jungle. He spent around 3 years. He traveled 10,000 kilometers inside the jungle, 3 years. When he got there, many was killed by malaria, snakes, cobra, poison, many things. This man changed the history of the border sides of Brazil, a Jewish. And if you remain in Tratado de Tordesilhas, we would have only that north region of Brazil. And it is not even though one of 4 parts of what's Brazil today. They went through the jungle and established the extension of this land.
Sepultar isso, essas cinzas e sabões lá. O governo brasileiro permitiu. Essas cinzas e sabões estão sepultados em um cemitério judaico no Rio de Janeiro. Há uns anos atrás eu fui lá para descobrir. Lá tem 2 cemitérios judaicos. Eu fui em um, não era. Fui no outro. Descobri. Está lá uma lápide muito grande, falando dessas cinzas, falando dos sabões que estão sepultados ali. Então, olha a dívida que o senhor tem com o Brasil. Entendeu? Então, irmãos, o que precisa agora, porque Deus quer abençoar. Só que tem uma coisa, irmãos. Tem uma questão aí. Qual? E por falar nisso, dentro dessas questões, ontem chegou na minha tela aqui do celular, para eu assinar, há uma baixa assinatura, abaixo assinado, perdão.
My memory must to help me here more. So many porks there, so many pigs there, 2,000 pigs. Look, count was there. I don't know if you went there. Sure, because look, it is look, look 2,000 pigs. Those pigs probably were sacrificed for the demons that were possessed that man in Gadar. Those pigs probably he healed that man. Jesus went there, healed that man, and a detail, so interesting detail. I cannot deny to that man would like to follow Jesus, but Jesus said, no, we are going to tell what God did with you. What God did with you. Went and tell the people what God did with you. That's chapter 8 of Luke. In the chapter 9, verse 1, he says, I will give power and authority over all demons. Why only now he's going to say that? Because now the prince that was and that man was defeated, or in that region was defeated. That prince, the stronghold was broken. Was necessary Jesus went there, defeat that prince, and give authority for all demons. In Gadar, he didn't have authority. He had authority, but didn't put it in practice, or in the demons of Gadar. But he went there, and after that he said, I give you power and authority over all demons, even from Gadar. And chapter 10, 8, 9, and 10 is so close, the context. At 10, he sent 70 disciples. Mark tell us about it. Those disciples win 10 cities for Jesus. Who was there? Who were there? The man from Gadar, a believer now. What we need now is to defeat this prince in Brasilia, especially in our court, in all our government, but mostly in our judgment court. They are trying to dispose our president. Impeachment. It's so strange. It's for now, quickly. I'm telling you what I'm reading in the journal, the news, what I'm seeing in the journals. What's necessary for us to do? This prince must go away. The man from Gadar was turned to Jesus. I called Alexandre Moraes a Gadareno. He's a Gadareno. He has a legion of demons in him. What if he turned to Jesus? If Alexandre tomorrow give a testimony of Christian, it will turn half of Brazil to Christ. But it's on our pray. It's on us to deliver the demons out of there. I pray. I do not pray for them. I not have this courage. but I had the courage to pray God to burn the demons there. And this fire will come from our prayer. God needs this spark, this power to defeat this prince. Last week we got together. Our directors, was not all of them, but almost all of them, in our house, to my office at home. We did a plan. Well, just after fucking declared innocent Lula, innocent, I don't know if innocent is the right word. He turned that man innocent. We have a lawyer here, give me this information. What is the fucking decision? He forgives the debts of Lula in the justice, cancel the condemnation. He declared him innocent or not? Because declared innocent is so strong. I don't think he declared innocent. Cancel the condemnation, I think. I'm not sure. The condemnations by Moro and for the court in itself. The judge from South condemned the Lula, but I think what happened was from God, because has a reaction in the federal judge, saw the outrages that fucking did. A judge called Lula and his son for they were sued for buying airplane, something in Europe. He's guilty in another process and being condemned, he cannot come in the elections. He will not be elected. We are praying for it. Our prayer is for it must be mostly to defeat this prince there in the court of STF, trying to dispose our president. And these demons know that they have short time. They want to act quickly. To kill, to eliminate Bolsonaro. We are praying. So last week we established what? What did we establish? Pray. Cancel the condemnation. That's Lila. I will tell nothing because my writing is not so good. So they cancel. Cancel means that condemnation did not even exist. it was not cancelled, was cancelled the process by now, but the crime is still must be analyzed by another judge. One of our points of prayer is the second part of the second judgment, be able to arrest the robber, the someone, because without it they will not be able to arrest no one. They released the worst criminals of Brazil. Obama wrote a book saying that Lula was the biggest robber in Brazil, and he is from the right as from left as Lula. The world knows the criminals has been released by our justice. It's sad. Those who were supposed to do the justice, they are doing the opposite, the injustice. It's on us. The reason we have. What's on us? Pray and fast. Praying 24/7. And we have many people praying. Yesterday, David Grubage kept in touch with me. There's people from his church praying fast, around 200 pastors praying fasting. They are praying fasting, a big group. I don't know exactly how much, but he led more than 200, but I don't know the number. Yesterday, Pastor Ricardo from Campo Verde sent me a WhatsApp telling me that he would go into a fasting of 3 days, a dry fasting. There will be 3 days isolated, a group of 9 pastors, if I'm not wrong, from his church, and there will be 3 days isolated fasting for the nation. There is no way. There is no way. Everything go to an end. Those demons are falling. Those demons are falling. That's the last attack. Maybe not the last, but it's a terrible attack to them. A terrible attack that the coronavirus has doing in our nation. It will not be equal. It will carry on, but in a smallest number, the vaccines is appearing. Talking about vaccines, many people want me to give my opinion. If we can take the vaccine, if not, I know what vaccine I will take. I will take Pfizer's vaccine that is applied in Israel. For brothers that arrive here, please sit at least 4 meters are far from each other. So this vaccine in Israel has result of 94%. So this vaccine I will take. I had no word about it, and according to Bolsonaro, it will be buyed. It may be bought by the municipalities, the cities, the government, majors can be bought. It not be free, He must arrive here in the end of this month. He in Brazil. This one I will take. But okay, let's see here. This war we are going through, let's be happy. Let's be happy. You know, be rejoiceful of your many trials. Has been a big trial today in Montes Belos. Only from the church, my church, the church that I'm a pastor. You know that it's not mine, but I will say, I know who is the owner of that church. We have 20 people getting treatment of coronavirus, and a couple with breathers, ventilators. I will have an appointment this year, but I will not because of the situation. But the pastors I had the appointment will forgive me. They will forgive me. I'm in debt with you, but I will pay it later. I will pay it later. So, okay. What time did I start? 10 to 9 was around it, right? 1 hour. I speak 1 hour and a half. I speak 1 hour and a half. So, I would speak another thing. I told you that I would speak about many subjects. So, eschatology is a subject that I love, and I've been studying for so many years. So, I'd like to speak about the times at Israel. It's a word about the temples, in Israel. The first temple, God revealed it to David. When they got a covenant with David, they built a tabernacle where God could be praised, adored, and the plant of the first temple were given to David, was built for Solomon, but the measurement was given to David. David was persecuted for 3 years for the king, but were David who brought the ark to Jerusalem. Pay attention it. David brought the ark to Jerusalem. So, bring the ark to Jerusalem. I'd like you to prepare a video for me. I'd like to show you here will not see, but the people watching us will be able to see. Laura is going to prepare it. When it's ready, tell me. Give me a sign. I stop it, and you at home can see. It's so important. Prepare it for me. The ark, the tabernacle, was built by Moses. They went with Israel for 40 years, went to Canaan. By the presence of ark, the Jordan was crossed, was splitted. They crossed the Jordan at dry feet. The Jordan was overflowing, the river. The Jordan was overflowing. He stopped the Jordan until the spring source in the Sea of Galilee, and people went in dry feet. Tabernacle, the temple, is the place of ark. My point is that. And the people crossed the Jordan. Joshua built the tabernacle in a small hill there in Israel after they crossed the Jordan. And the tabernacle remains there for so many years. And the ark remains there for so many years, around 400 years, a little bit more of 400 years. And the tabernacle went old. The curtains was thick, but get old. It was built to remain for centuries, and it did. And there was a situation where the preach failed. I'm going to show you in a while. I will carry on in a while. When it starts, you tell me. You give me a sign for me to turn off my microphone. Okay, what this video? With this song, please. Okay. Did you see about the rapture? Brothers and sisters, there's so many important materials you have to see, you have to notice, understand a couple of things, and to get scared, fearful, and look more for God, seek God. I watch a movie, the last destruction. I think that's the name. It's about the whole prophetic, but not about the religion. What's in purpose? To reach more people. So impressive that movie. And edifies. This song, this small video, is 4 minutes, I think. That edifies, that gives strength to it. Make us more fearful. I do not want to stay. I know that you also do not want to stay. So, brothers, let's be back here to David, talking about the tabernacle. The high priest failed so badly, and God rose Samuel. So Eli's son was adulterous. He used to curse the altar. It make the ark get out of the Israel's hands. That was the first time, and so many situations happen there in Dagon temple. They have to give the ark back, and there is a journey of this ark. I'm not talking about it, but the ark has a journey until Jerusalem. The place of the ark is Jerusalem. Our Lord will rule in the whole world from Jerusalem. The place of the ark's place is Jerusalem. And David took the ark to Jerusalem, did a tent to the ark. He did a tent to the ark. And there were around 4,000 worshippers. The ark was in the middle. It was not hidden. It was in the middle. Before, it used to stay in the most holy. Only the high priest could go into once a year. But now, no. Now the access is for all. It's a prophecy related to the church. Related to the church in Pentecost. Because now the ark, that is the Lord, our blessed Lord, are there for us. We have to pray before the ark. And before the ark, David used to pray for 24/7. I believe that the tent was for 4,000 people, because he has 4,000 worshippers. And that worship was 24/7. When David died, he led up the measurements of the temple. He would like to build the temple, but the Lord didn't let him do it. You killed so many people from your sword. You spread so many blood. It will not be you who will build it. It will be your son. And as soon as Solomon started to rule, they gave the orders to build the temple. The numbers of this temple, the first one, they are 4, but the numbers of these ones are treasures. They are so big. If you read in Second Chronicles, only David, let 102,000 kilograms of golden, pure golden, to build this temple. All princes. Okay, I will finish it in 2 minutes. I'll have to stop here because I in that with you. If the bishop let me, next Tuesday maybe I can finish this conversation. Let's see, because we have a problem here in our power, and the power will be cut now. You be shut down because the company arrives here to fix it. So sorry, we are going to finish it. This class, this connecting, and next Tuesday we are going to carry on, probably trying to finish this subject. A hug and a kiss for all of you.